Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and RainBoots.com. Let's make some gnome macrame ornaments. And you don't have to have a laser for him, but if you'd like to make him with me, just boop, stick around. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. Most people ask me how I do my designs. I have this program called Adobe Illustrator. I made this in a couple minutes and I saved it and imported it into XCS, which is laser software. But I'm gonna show all the laser people how easy it is to make this in XCS as well. So we're going to cut pieces and we're going to score pieces for this gnome macrame. Now, for those of you without a laser, go and trace this guy onto heavy cardstock 3 times and glue those pieces together. Or you can cut it out of cardboard and put a pretty piece over it and just make sure it's glued and pressed together. That's it. You do not have to have a laser or a Cricut. For those of you who are working in Xtools software, make 2 ovals, one smaller, and subtract it so we get this. You can see the middle is cut out. Create another oval, a little big for the space. That's going to be our nose. Now, finally, I have a lot of questions so far on the vector tool. And if it's like Illustrator, that's a big no. It's not, but it's pretty easy to figure out. So you can see I'm just creating the worst looking gnome hat. But hold on, when I double click each of these points, I have the ability to round them off, to vary my shape. You can see that just brought it really far in. We're going to bring it back out a little bit. I'm going to round off all of these points so that we get a nice soft look. That's wonky. And in doing that, and in order to do that, I'm just double clicking each of these. Now, the vector tool, after you save it, cannot be adjusted again. So make sure everything you're building with the vector tool is easily done within your session time, because you will not be able to edit it again. You'd have to start all over. Now, to combine these two, I'm just going to size my double oval down, and then I'm going to put the hat in front. There you go, bring to forward. I'm going to select both of these 2 items, and I'm just going to combine them or unite them in the XCS software. Now I'm going to take my nose and we're going to copy it. So don't just combine it, because we want that 3D nose bump out. So we're going to copy and paste it, and you can align them or what, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I did that. But if you want front and back, you need to make 2 separate side noses and just attach one. So we have one cutout piece over here and we have the full gnome background. We are going to select both of those to cut and move them to the side. Now, I kind of forgot what I did in Illustrator, so I had to open Illustrator back up and realize, okay, so I got my nose, I got my little bump out part for the beard. Now we need to make some holly. So just FYI, you can make holly by doing 3 separate circles for the berries. Do not unite them. You have to layer them and then duplicate that. Or you could just go in here and choose this holly and let's manipulate it, because that's going to be a whole lot faster. But you can use the vector tool to create the holly, leaves, and the circles for the berries. I'm going to unlock their holly because I want it a little bit different shape. Now, that looks about right. We can always make it bigger or smaller, but it won't work for us because we need to create a couple things. First of all, you need to create a hole for the hanger inside that gnome hat, which I forgot to do. And then we want to make this berry over here attached. So we're actually going to put a circle right over it and we're going to get rid of it. Now we're going to take another circle and we're going to tuck it up. Here, ready? You can tuck it up under the holly, existing holly, and then we're going to move it in place, and now we can unite it. Ready? Oh, there we go. Nope. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we have 3 berries over here, but I don't like those cutouts for the little reflection or the berry part, whatever it is, where there's only 2 of them. I want a 3rd one, so I'm going to take this pre-made star and I'm just going to size it down because it looks pretty similar to what they've already got there. So I'm going to put it in place right over our little berry. And now I'm going to take everything, go up, and I'm going to subtract that out. So now it's going to have a nice similar look. We're going to have to duplicate this, however, and remove all of our score lines because we need a back piece, right? And we want to fill that to cut it all out. So there's no fill we can't take these nodes out like we can in Illustrator. So that means we're just going to have to cover them up. And to cover them up, I'm just going to take a circle. I'm going to position it over all these cutouts, highlight both of them, and oops, unite. And you see how it took it away? And now I'm going to do that 37,000 more times so I can get all of these pieces out of here. The reason I'm doing that is because I want a cut action in addition to a score action. So the one we made to the left, that's our score, and it's going to sit on top of our cut. So here we have, we're going to change this one to cut. Make sure this one is set to score. When you line them up, the system is going to know what to do. I'm going to save this. Now again, off camera, I drilled a hole into my gnome hat because I forgot to tell you to make a hanger. So just FYI, make a hanger in the gnome hat. Now when you go to cut it, you're going to indicate both of those two pieces, the nose and the gnome body thing. Both of those are going to be cut. Now you have to separate these two, right? You can't group them together. So go over to your ungroup menu, and that's just to let you know when you save something and it's on top of each other, it may automatically group it together. It may not. Just make sure that you know you have to have two pieces, even though they're right on top of each other. I like to move the score to a different layer down here by highlighting it and selecting move to in another color. All right, so this is our file. I'm going to be using these. I've had this banner kit from Michael's Craft Store for about ever, and it's really thin. I don't know if that's 1/16 wood, but I just decided I'm going to see if I can do it. I am using the honeycomb because this thing is magical. I'm going to align my piece with the red dots so I can auto measure. I'm going to tack it down with the magnetic pins, and then I'm just going to position it in place. I choose open planed. I did in fact choose 3mm because I couldn't find anything less, and I was like, hey, this is a test, so let's try it. I auto measured, positioned everything into places, and framed it out. Now, if you do have a laser, you probably know this already, but I always frame. I also made sure that I had no detritus or no little pieces of wood from other projects on the bottom of my plate, which is under my riser. And I also made sure I have my fire suppression friend next to me. All right, here we go. That took only a couple of minutes, and it cut everything out well. It scored our holly just like we wanted. And now's the fun part. If you are new here, I always listen to Audible books when I'm actually crafting because it's chill. I need some paint, some sealant, some paintbrushes. And the reason I'm using the sealant is so that the wood doesn't soak up all my color. I'm going to use some wood glue and some macrame cord. You can use even Dollar Tree macrame cord. This is from the Dollar Tree, but I also get it from craft stores and Amazon. So my first step is to prep this piece and all of the other pieces, and that is with this sealant. So I'm just brushing on the sealant in a thin layer so that it doesn't take all of my paint and I don't have to work twice as hard. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me paint this, but I will say that you can also use stain. Just use a couple of coats and bring the color down a little bit farther than I did on the red there. I just did everything 2 coats. You can also add shadowing or a cute little outside stitch layer depending on what you want. So if I got paint in any, like on the edges or whatever, I just used a piece of sandpaper so that I could get that off and make it look normal. I painted a light beige for the nose and the nose on the actual cutout. And now it's time to drill my hole because I forgot to add a hole on the actual design. So I found the center, put a piece of tape there, and just used a small drill bit. By the way, it was too small because I looked at it and I'm like, well, that's a pin prick, but it's what I had in my drill and I didn't change it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sand that out and seal the entire thing and the little holly. So you can paint the 2 sides of the little gnome ornament like I did, or just one, doesn't matter, it's your choice. But if I had to do it again, I'd cut out 2 noses as well. All right, so now I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. This is just wood glue on a paintbrush so that I don't send it everywhere. So I'm just going to pop on that little nose and pop on the little holly. Now you can use a little super glue if you want. I just find wood glue is the better in the long end. So I could see the score marks really easily, so I just used a Sharpie and highlighted all of that and did a nice big black border around the edge and added a little highlight on the nose. Again, just a Sharpie, and you can use a spray sealant for that. To create the beard, for those of you who have never done macrame, this is the easiest thing in the world. Take 11 inches. You're going to need quite a few of these, but I'd cut only 6 or 7 in the beginning just to let you, get an idea first. And then you're just going to, there's 2 ways you can do it, and it's going to change the look. You can go in through the back with the loop and pull the 2 ends forward like this, or you can go loop it with the 2 ends matched up, go the opposite way. So put the loop through the front and then the 2 ends through that, just pull it through. And it really changes the look of the beard. So it's whatever you would like to do. I like putting it in through the front, so I'm just going to change this one. And now we're just going to scooch them all to one end pretty tightly. We want them to be pretty dense so that they're not going to be moving around. And once I have a few of them on there, I just keep squishing and moving them around. Here you go. Now, I would protect your surface for this because when you brush these things out, it gets a little ouchy because you are using metal brushes, but you can leave it like this where it looks like ramen noodles, which is fun, or you can use a slicker brush or a cat comb. I prefer the slicker brush because it makes my life a whole lot easier and it works a whole lot faster. Keep your fingers out of the way and just brush right below those knots. Put it down onto a flat surface or hold it up and give it a trim. Give the beard a trim. I'm just going to use this Dollar Tree cutting mat because I'm going to be able to say, okay, I'm going to start in the middle and then go up to about 3 inches on either side. So I have a nice, like this beard will always stay looking nice. So I'm just going to do that, remove the tape, and I'm going to add my hanger for this guy. And you can see he's all done. What do you think of this? Are you going to make this? I love him, but I'd love to hear what you think. And as always, thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun. Bye.